Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the wild world of finance, tech, and how everyday folks like you and me can turn big changes into even bigger opportunities. Today, I've got something super timely and honestly a bit controversial. We're talking about India's massive push into drone deliveries and what it means for the gig economy. But here's the twist, I'm not just recapping the news. I've got a novel idea on how gig workers can flip the script from fearing these flying machines to using them as a launch pad for real financial freedom. Stick around because by the end of this, you'll see why embracing new tech isn't just smart, it's your ticket to building wealth in a world that's changing faster than ever. Let's set the scene. India is on a rocket fueled mission to become a global drone hub by 2030. E commerce giants are already deploying drones for quick deliveries in cities like Gurugram and Bengaluru. Companies like Sky Air are leading the charge, dropping packages into secure pods on rooftops, where gig workers then handle the final handoff to customers. It's efficient, cuts down on traffic jams and fuel costs, and could revolutionize everything from urban shopping to rural healthcare. The CEO of Sky Air, Ankit Kumar, says this isn't about replacing humans, it's about making their jobs easier. Riders' delivery radii shrink from 5 kilometers to just 500 meters, potentially boosting deliveries from 6 to 15 per hour. That means more money in your pocket, right? The company even claims walkers, those delivering on foot, save 35% daily. Sounds like a win, but not everyone's buying it. Now, flip to the other side. Gig workers, the backbone of India's delivery boom over the last decade, are sweating this out. Take Shambhu Kumar, a 27-year-old Swiggy deliverer in New Delhi. He's already under the thumb of app algorithms that track every second, fine you for delays, and leave you high and dry without benefits. Drones? To him, they're just another way companies dodge salaries, medical care, and social protections. Drones don't need brakes, he says, but they'll push us to match machine speeds. And he's not alone. Research from Idinsight shows full-time drivers earn about 18,761 rupees a month, around 222 bucks for 62 hours a week with zero safety nets. Experts like Mark Graham from the Oxford Internet Institute warn that drones could intensify this algorithmic management, turning jobs into even more invisible, unprotected grind. It's a classic tech disruption story. Innovation promises efficiency and growth, but it risks leaving workers in the dust. India's e-commerce explosion has relied on these gig folks to map out chaotic urban routes, building the very systems now eyeing automation. Without acknowledging that, we're talking about erasing the people who made it possible. Regulation is evolving. Government platforms manage airspace, states draft rules. But as researcher Aditi Suri points out, it's more about surveillance than labor rights. So, where does finance come into this? That's where my novel idea kicks in. What if, instead of resisting or fearing decomposition of the old ways, breaking down the human element into obsolete parts, we reframe this as a financial partnership model? I call it drone linked equity shares for gig workers. Hear me out. Imagine a system where gig platforms don't just use drones to squeeze more out of workers, but integrate them into a shared financial ecosystem. Here's the core. Companies like Swiggy, Zomato, or Sky Air create worker equity pools tied directly to drone adoption metrics. For every drone assisted delivery you complete, you earn microshares in a dedicated fund invested in drone tech startups or the platform's own growth. It's like stock options for the gig world. Instead of wages staying flat while efficiencies skyrocket, your earnings compound through ownership. Think about it. Sky Air has already hit 1.2 million deliveries last year, serving big names like Blue Dart and Tata 1MG. If workers got even a fractional stake, say 0.1% of revenue from drone ops divvied up based on participation, that could translate to bonus payouts or retirement funds. But why is this novel? Because traditional finance treats gig workers as expendable costs, not investors. In this model, you're not just labor, you're a stakeholder. Platforms could fund it by redirecting a slice of the 35% savings from fuel and time. Government incentives for drone hubs could subsidize it, turning policy into personal wealth building. For workers like Shambu, upskilling isn't a vague learn something new after 12-hour shifts. Platforms partner with fintech apps to offer free drone ops training, certified as an asset that boosts your credit score for loans or investments. Imagine logging into your delivery app and seeing a dashboard. Today's deliveries, tomorrow's equity growth. It's finance democratized using tech to bridge the gap between disruption and inclusion. Let's crunch some numbers to make this real. Average gig earnings 18,761 rupees monthly. With drones boosting deliveries by 150%, that's potentially 28,000 rupees base. Add equity. If a platform's drone division grows 20% yearly, a conservative estimate for India's market, and you hold microshares worth 5% of your delivery's value, that's compounding interest on your sweat equity. Over 5 years, with reinvestment, you could build a 100,000 rupee nest egg. Not life changing overnight, but in a country where social security is spotty, it's a game changer. Compare that to the status quo, volatile pay, no benefits, and the constant threat of being one click away from obsolescence. Critics might say, this sounds pie in the sky, but look at parallels in finance. Uber's driver stock programs, though flawed, showed it's possible. In India, fintech like Paytm has already blurred lines between workers and investors. Drone companies are startups flush with government backing, perfect for equity models, and for platforms, it's smart business. Happier, invested workers mean lower turnover, better service, and less union push back. Graham warns of hidden workforces, but this shines a light, making labor visible through financial stakes. So, why work with the tech instead of breaking it down or fighting it? Because decomposition, treating tech as the enemy and dissecting jobs into smaller, devalued pieces, leads to insecurity. Embracing it financially turns threat into opportunity. Gig workers, demand this from your apps. Platforms, build it to lead the market. Investors, back companies doing this for ethical, high return plays. India's drone rush could be a model for global gig finance, proving tech lifts all boats when shared properly. Wrapping up, this isn't just about drones, it's about reimagining finance in the age of automation. If you're in the gig game or investing in tech, start thinking equity, not exploitation. Hit that like button if this sparked ideas. Subscribe for more finance hacks and drop in the comments. Would you invest in a drone equity fund? Thanks for watching. See you next time.